Good morning, everybody. This is the college football preview show with views from the 22. I am Germ So True. That's Ty Neal. We here. Ty, man, how you doing this morning, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good this morning. It's another nice day out here in Ohio. Ready for some college football. We got a lot of prospects to watch today, but it's also going to be a lot of fun for the people. How
And
you doing, man?
I'm good, man. You know, this is one of those days where we got a lot of good stuff going on. Again, prospect watches, watching in general is something that we always do here at Views because we do our own boards, we scout our own players, we do all that good stuff. So we're gonna be on the lookout talking about a lot of these very intriguing young prospects that we have in this upcoming class. So let's just start at the top and let's get right into it. When it comes down to it, Ty, we got the number one team in the country, number one in the country going they're going to be at home today. The Crimson Tide of Alabama are at home today against Ole Miss. What are some things that you're looking forward to for this game?
Alabama versus Ole Miss. This is a very intriguing matchup because of the fact it's Lane Kiffin versus Nick Saban. Lane Kiffin, has had some history of some bad, but it seems like he's found himself but he's always been an offensive genius. You can't take that away from him. But there was always a suspicion, like, can he do it when he comes back as a head coach? Alabama under him, when he was the offensive coordinator, produced some of the best offensive numbers we've seen in college football in a long time. A very high potent offense. And, a lot of my friends that are Alabama Crimson Tide fans, they had this game marked because they feel that this is the biggest threat on the calendar because of the ability of Ole Miss being able to score. This is a high potent offense going up against a defense that doesn't bend. They operate under the bend don't break, but they're very stout. A lot of NFL prospects with Alabama, but this is one to mark on that could be an upset, even being at home.
So, what do you feel today is the key component for Alabama to walk out with a victory?
Don't change who you are. That the thing is if they get down, don't panic because they're a team that's built for the fourth quarter. You can be up on them. The young, talented quarterback in Bryce Young, very confident in himself. Very solid. The kid has thrown 15 touchdowns to no interceptions. He's played pretty much lights out, and he's pretty much done by halftime. He doesn't have to play the full game, pretty much the full game. The only really full game that he's played thus far really is the Florida game. And that was one of the biggest tests that they've had this season. Stick to what you do, you know, keep, continually to lean up on your young quarterback. You got the running game to win the game in the fourth quarter if need be. You got the defense, you got the corners, you got the defensive line, you got the linebackers. They got everything they need in order to win this. All you got to do is just stick to what you know, which is your bread and butter, fourth quarter football.
All right, now for Ole Miss to pull this game off, what is the key component for them today?
Limit your mistakes. Score fast, score often. Push the pace. Do not give Alabama the chance to get set up on defense because if they can get set on defense and they can slow you down, they can make this into a game that you really don't want to get in with them because I don't think they have the size to contain them for four quarters.
Okay. So let's roll with a prediction. Who you rolling with today? Alabama or Ole Miss?
I'm gonna go Alabama. I'm just gonna go to Alabama because I haven't seen. I think there's only been one former coach that's beaten Nick Saban, and that's Dabo. and I don't think that Lane Kiffin can do it. But I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. But I'm still going to stick with Alabama winning by 2 touchdowns.
All right, next game that's big on this docket: Georgia versus Arkansas. Now, this is the number 2 team in the country. This looks like we might be on another clash collision course for another SEC title game situation where we get 2 SEC teams in the proverbial national championship game. Um what do you like most about this year's Georgia team?
This Georgia team is this Georgia team is balanced. It's well balanced. It's solid. You know, you don't get this too often, but Kirby Smart has built a program there. And there's one guy that I really like that plays for Georgia by the name of N'Kobe Dean. I call him the enforcer because he doesn't allow anything to come to the front house of his territory. That man is probably one of the most old school type of linebackers, and that's what I enjoy, and that's what I love watching is a defensive type of player. And
Okay.
there's also a guy by the name of Adam Anderson that plays for Georgia. That's a outside linebacker, very quick, very fast, fast twitch muscles, quick twitch muscles. My apologies,
Mhm.
but I believe that defense is what anchors Georgia.
All right, now Arkansas. They're number 8 currently in the AP polls. They're obviously a threat in the SEC. What is the key thing for them to be able to pull out this game today for you?
Arkansas must find ways to continue to do what they do, and that's to score. They got a quarterback in Jefferson who is a dual threat that can move. They can move and manage the pocket. He's quick. He's fast. He's got the ability to stretch the defense. Um, they also have a receiver by the name of Traylon Burks, a very good, pretty much every down receiver that can play pretty much all of them. So I believe that he can be everything that you need. So if they can figure out a way to keep their same offense, I believe that this can be an upset watch.
Okay. So who are you rolling with today? Georgia or Arkansas?
Uh Give me Georgia. I just don't believe that defense is going to break. That's they're number 2 for a reason, and they do have Daniels. I think his name is Jake Daniels. Um, Good old school type quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. So give me Georgia.
All right, and the third big game today, which is the last big game of today, then we'll talk about a couple other games. We got Cincinnati traveling to Notre Dame to take on the Fighting Irish. This year's Notre Dame team seems to be one of those teams that may have a chance to play themselves up into that top 5, proverbial top 5, top 4 range, and be able to challenge for one of those bowl games, and try to be be in the college football playoff. We'll just say it like that. What do they need to do today in order to beat the Cincinnati team?
I think we're looking at two teams that are very similar in everything across the board. Very, very, very similar. I don't see too much stuff that's different from them. Notre Dame just seems to find ways to win. You know, they've had two or three. They've had two or three. No, I say two. They've had two close games, really close games that could have went the other way very easily with a field goal kick and or could have been a defensive turnover that could have changed it. But they still found ways to win. In this game, Notre Dame has a prospect by the name of Kyle Hamilton, a real long safety, real long, unorthodox, 6'4", 6'4", about 220. He's a difference maker. He's a difference maker. Hard to get things over top of him because of the way that he can play the backside of the defense. He allows you to be able to do different things with your front seven, so you don't have to really be concerned whether you can throw blitzes at Cincy, but Cincy is a very fast team with a quarterback by the name of Desmond. I think it's Riddler or Ryder. Might be Ryder. But we're talking about a guy that can spread the ball. He's not really your traditional quarterback, but he's very athletic on his feet, and which opens up the ability to him to manipulate the defense and to be able to throw on the run. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So it's a little bit harder to game plan for somebody that has that creativity to
Got you. Notre Dame or Cincinnati today? Who you rolling with?
him. I'm gonna go if the backup quarterback that stepped in last week for Notre Dame is starting off the game. I want to go with them for the small time upset because it's number 9 versus number 7, and watching what he done under pressure and found a way to win for his team, being the red shirt sophomore. I'm really intrigued if he's starting today. I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
Okay. So what are some games that you have on you? Give me one or two games that you are really, really intrigued on catching today. And then we'll go into prospect watch and wrap up.
Um, there's one game that's really an upset. Some people might consider it a boring game, but it's an upset because last year Indiana upset Penn State. So this year Penn State's in the same situation, undefeated, number 4 in the country, and you got Indiana. Ooh, Indiana's it's a rivalry game, so they're look Indiana's looking like they're coming in with confidence. Last year we got y'all. This year, can y'all keep it from happening and keep y'all from going into the playoffs? Because right now they're set to go to the playoffs if they just run their schedule. But if it ends up getting an upset, that can ruin everything for them. And there's a prospect in there, Penn State, by the name of Dotson, the wide receiver. He's the game changer. If he can get going, this upset won't happen. But if they ever find a way to contain him, it's upset city.
Are we going with upset city today?
I'm going to trust Penn State this year. I think they might have learned their lesson from last year. I'm hoping that they do. So I'm going to go Penn State.
Okay. Now, prospect watch. We got a bunch of prospects, obviously, all across the board here in these games. What are some names this week that you're looking at big time and you're telling people about to really keep an eye on this week?
The one that I just said about was Dotson, the receiver for Penn State. I think he's one of the smoothest. He's not up for draft status this year. I think it's next year for him. But just watching him routes, just watching him being able to take the ball, make people miss. He's made defenders look like they're trying to catch a rabbit in a wide open field. It's just hard. That's one of the guys. The next one is, of course, a lot of places has him as the number 1 defensive and the number 1 overall player to go in the NFL draft, and that's Thibodeau from Oregon. Today, he played a little bit last week. This week, they're expecting him to play the full game because it's another rivalry game, another sneaky game to watch. But I don't think that Stanford can do it. But Thibodeau will be one to watch on. Defensive lineman, defensive end, great on the pass rush, defensive end linebacker. He can kind of float back between the two. I think he's one to really watch, to see if he's going to be the one for the NFL. He's already been Christ, and it's something hard to watch, to be when you're a top defensive player. Some make it, some don't, and it's a lot to rest on your shoulders.
Absolutely. He's gonna be our primetime guy for today. He should have a really, really good day. Alabama has so many prospects in this class that are in the top 100. They got about 10. So it's gonna be interested to see which one of these guys separate themselves and how everybody stacks up at the end of the year. Um, we got time for one more prospect, and then we can get out of here. Who is your second prospect that's the most important to their game today?
To this game, I think it's one of your one of the ones that you gave me is the cornerback from LSU, Stingley. Um, just another corner that's coming out of. This is one of these schools that is in the back and forth argument with Ohio State and Alabama, and at one time it was Florida. All of these four schools argue over who's the DBU, who produces the best. I think Stingley can be the difference maker in playing this game against Auburn. I don't see Auburn as, the upset. They're currently ranked right now. I think we're going to see LSU win this game, and I think Stingley's going to come away with a INT off of Bo Nix. So let's keep an eye out on him.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, as we get ready to wrap up the show for our college game day to give everybody a little chance to get ready for the games. Any final thoughts for today?
There's a lot of good football on, a lot of high scoring games that's going to be on. People just enjoy your Saturdays. Come out. It's college day. The scene, what we do is views from the 22. Make sure y'all come out on Sunday to watch Scene, the Views 22 crew that's going to be bringing your NFL games, your NFL prospects, and your fun NFL Sunday night games.
Shameless plug. Views from the 22. Views and dues with the Mimosa crew. I mean, with the crew. At the end of the day, man, we got a crazy show for y'all tomorrow. Of course, man. This is a show right here. My guy Ty. I just like the quarterback from my guy. Let him cook, do his thing. Hey man, we appreciate you, Ty. We will see you next week. Hopefully, with everything going good. With that being said, from the Views from the 22 crew, college game day preview. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, people.